So some of the things that we do, we work with industry partners such as AstraZeneca, and everyone in the life sciences pathway in year 12 has the chance to take part in our AstraZeneca vaccine challenge, where vaccine scientists from AstraZeneca come into the building and set you the challenge of designing a vaccine for a novel viral disease, and you spend several weeks working on your solution to that problem and then pitch that back to staff from AstraZeneca at like a poster conference event. And the students that propose the best idea then go on to get work experience placements with the company. And last year we had 12 work experience, 1 week work experience placements with AstraZeneca. We do a similar thing with another one of our industry partners called Alfred H. Knight, who are an analytical chemistry company. And they set a very lab-based challenge where you develop key laboratory skills, such as being able to make standard solutions, analyse samples. And it's the same thing, they'll come and pitch the project. You spend a bit of time in our labs working on that project, developing skills. Then you have to present your findings back to the company, and there's work experience placements again. Both of these companies are keen to get students onto degree apprenticeships at the end of their time with us. So that's an option that we're very much exploring. There's some of the other partners that we work with down here. And we've just recently, for those who are more interested in sort of animal-based careers, we've just recently started a project with a group called IRIS, where students have access to data from orphaned elephants that have been re-released into a national park in Zambia. And students get to use the GPS data from those elephants and to plot the movements of those elephants using Google Earth Pro. So that's a new project that's coming this year. There's plenty of times that we get companies into the building to do masterclasses. We do trips out to our business partners. So we went to visit Alfred H. Knight for a full day today with 14 of our year 12 students and had like tours of their lab facilities, talks about apprenticeships. And students in the pathway also get the chance to do extended projects. So an extended project qualification where you get to choose a topic of your own choosing and do your own original research on that topic. I've used up all my time. I'm being told to quit. Any questions afterwards, let me know. Thank you.
And it's only John because I've told this is why everyone came tonight to hear about engineering. So engineering, here there are two, sorry I'm down by the way, there are two very exciting ways that you can join the club as an engineer with us. The first way is where you only study engineering and you work your way through what we call a T-level. That's a little bit new. That's kind of if you are a vocational engineer, digitally excellent, practically competent, you're a logical thinker. The other option is if you kind of study engineering alongside A-levels, so whether you do physics, maths, computer science, business, or subjects that kind of complement engineering and go within there. And that's maybe where you're an academic learner who's digitally excellent, brilliant mathematically, and you are a problem solver. I guess kind of people ask about T-levels. T-levels are brand new, so A-levels people understand. A T-level is kind of almost like a hybrid between an apprenticeship and a set of A-levels. And what you do is you spend kind of 560 hours of it, or 40% of it studying technical engineering, and 40% of it studying a specialism, and then you spend 20% of it out in industry, again with our partners. In terms of what we teach within the pathway, and this kind of doesn't matter whether you're doing the T-level or whether you're doing the academic route, is we teach mechanical principles, electrical principles, mechatronics, mathematical reasoning. We also try and instill the idea that engineers actually at the end of the day we are there to make money. So we teach business principles, financial awareness, commercial priorities and so forth. And also how to be safe and risk assess. Now, what we then do here, and actually this is the most important thing for me, is that Liverpool is a manufacturing city. So what we try and do is we try and teach people to design and make. And in that what we do is we teach people to use industry standard platforms, which you will develop designs on. Then what you do is you iterate, and then you will make them. And really excitingly, we are in the process of putting in a brand new engineering workshop in the basement, which is full of CNC machines and other technologies. We're even looking at producing an augmented layer to understand what manufacturing in the future could look like. I guess kind of it's really important to kind of think about where you can go. I just kind of highlighted a student who I taught a number of years ago, a young lady called Hannah, who spent some time with us doing projects, project-based learning, understanding engineering, and I spoke to Hannah last week, and this is what she now does Really interestingly, kind of Hannah works for Murphy Group, and she is responsible for making sure that water doesn't leak in North Wales. It's a big responsibility. So yeah, that's engineering. If you'd like to know any more, come and find me and have a chat. But other than that, I think it's down to...
Thank you. My name's Sarah Graham and I'm here to talk about social sciences. So it's a whistle-stop tour of 3 subjects, I suppose, the ologies as they are known. So psychology, sociology and criminology. We offer all 3, and quite unusually in this school, they're all taught by subject specialists. So they all of our teachers have degrees in those subject areas. Also, breaking news, the drama, we are hoping next year to bring in philosophy and ethics as well into social sciences. So we'll be giving out more information about that as the year moves forward. But it's something very different and a lot of students are quite interested in it, so we thought we would look at developing that. So why choose social sciences then? Apart from, I'm slightly biased, I have a great passion for social sciences. As you can see, psychology now is the 2nd most popular A-level. We went from people saying, are these real subjects, to, as you can see, sociology is on there as well. We are in the top 10. Criminology is not technically an A-level, although it has the same status, but it is a level 3 applied diploma. And the reason it's slightly different is that it has 50% exam and 50% coursework. So I'm assuming that's why it's not on there, because it's a very popular subject. And a lot of students want to take criminology. You don't have to go into psychology though, or into sociology, or into criminology. I think the good thing about the social sciences is that you can go into lots of different areas. So there's a few up there on the screen for you: law, police force, education, forensics. Psychology is dealing with people and, in some cases, manipulation of people. So there's a lot of different businesses that see it as quite valuable. So all of these subjects have highly transferable and prized skills. And again, I like a bit of data, Top 10 best degrees for earning potential. Now, a straight social science degree is on there, but if you look at the degrees at the top, like medicine, dentistry, you can have that as a supportive subject for those degrees as well. So psychology fits in very nicely with some of the other science subjects. Therefore, we don't just teach the A-levels, we try and bring in other experiences. So we have had a consultant anaesthetist came in to talk about psychology and going into medicine. We had Professor Craig Jackson come in last year to talk about serial killers, which was very interesting. We have very strong links with Liverpool John Moores University. And we've also had some of our students working with the NHS to help with an app that they've been developing. So we do try and get them outside of the classroom. It's not just about learning from a textbook. It's about applying that. Where can we use these skills in the real world? Question that people often ask, do I have to have a GCSE? No, you do not. However, in psychology, I would suggest that you should have maths, because you do need maths. Biology would be great as well. And there's lots of essays, so English is a must. Okay? But what I always say is that commitment to study is the most important thing. Again, a little bit of data. To get an A or an A star, the biggest factor was commitment. Take everything else out. If you really want to study hard and consistently, that's going to get you to where you want to be. It's been proven as such. So, because I know I'm coming to the end now, few people that we've had, past pupils, that I can give you some information about, and you can see the range of degrees that people have gone into. So Kyle there, studying psychology and criminology. We had Luke went into dentistry. Valentina, who's gone off to Italy and gone into medicine. One of our students from sociology went into the fire service, and we've had students who have had apprenticeships as well. So it's not just about going into psychology or sociology or criminology. I think my time is up, so thank you again. If you want to ask any questions. Are you next?
Yeah. Thank you very much. Okay, hi everyone. My name's Leonie and I lead the Medivet programme. So the Medivet programme isn't an A-level that you would choose, it would be something that sits alongside the A-levels. So specifically, if you're aspiring to be a doctor or a dentist or a vet, you would typically choose A-level biology, chemistry, and maybe another third subject, maybe maths or psychology, for example. And the Medivet programme has been developed to have 4 main components to try and improve people's success at getting into medical school. We really support with the work experience. So as you can anticipate, work experience is super important for students at interview. When they're being interviewed by the medical schools, they need to be able to reflect on the role of a doctor, how they interact with patients and colleagues, how they're able to understand how they work as a team, for example. So we place students in local NHS hospitals. So this past week, we've had students at Wiston Hospital rotating around the various different departments, including things like the stroke ward, cosmetic surgery, the frailty ward, and that's where they were able to understand those sorts of important relationships. Secondly, we offer a UCAT course. So the UCAT is an assessment that A-level students will do, and their score will determine if they get an interview for medical school. It's the most important deciding factor, I would say, as to whether a student would get an interview. And we're able to offer a course to be able to prepare students to do really well with that. We've had students get in the top 10% of the 30,000 students that sit the course. Okay, so it's really, really game changer in terms of success. Interview preparation, this takes place during timetabled sessions where we explore lots of things that might likely come up in a potential interview. So why do you want to be a doctor? Why do you want to be a doctor at this university? What can you tell me about your work experience? Can you give me some reflection in terms of what you saw there? Okay, so we'll be able to prepare our students in terms of the common interview questions. And then finally, and probably arguably the most important thing, is that the students need to get the very, very best A-level grades. Okay, so the A-levels are going to be delivered by extremely talented and expert teachers with the hope that these students are going to get the A's and the A stars that they need to get into medical school. Partners, people that we work with, obviously we work closely with the NHS, but also dental practices within Liverpool and local veterinary practices. And then ultimately, hopefully, if all of that aligns, okay, and the exams go really well, they get offers, we end up with super successful students. So I just wanted to highlight 2 students from last year, Holly and Vlad, both studying at Oxford. It's an interesting story, really. They both aspired to study medicine, but Holly went on the work experience and just decided that wasn't for me. Okay, I don't like the idea of working in a hospital. And really, I like to point that out because naturally some students will pull away from medicine, pull away from dentistry and think, I don't like the idea of this. But the focus will not change on that student. We will still put all our efforts in making sure that that student gets to where they need to be. And for Holly's case, it was to study chemistry at Oxford University. So that's me. Thank you very much.
I'm going the wrong way. Okay, so I am Phil and I lead, I've gone too far now. I lead Creative A-levels here at the studio. We offer 3 different A-levels. We offer graphics, we offer art, craft and design, and we offer lens-based media, which comes under the photography umbrella of the A-level. But within them subjects, you can specialise in whatever areas you like. Year 12, the focus is about learning skills. So in graphic design, you'll learn about character design, self-promotion, logo design, animation, lots of different stuff. Art and design, you'll do some drawing, some painting, some digital work. For lens-based media is designed a little bit differently. You'll get, even though it's a photography A-level, you can focus on photography, You might want to focus on filmmaking, you might want to focus on animation, and other students like to combine their passion for drawing with their photography, and there's just some really nice examples of the different things that you can do in the different A-levels. You can choose to study all three. A lot of our students do all three art A-levels. They work really well together, they complement each other really well. Alongside that, we also offer life drawing, which is an invaluable skill that really helps you develop as an artist. And we do that once a week, and we have models coming in working with students, which really helps with their anatomy drawings. Why would you choose to study a creative subject? Well, the government has estimated in 2022 that the creative industry has generated 126 billion of value added to the economy, so it is a growing industry. What do we do here that makes us stand out? Well, we really want our students to understand what it's like to work and be in the creative industry. So every year we have public exhibitions which students kind of come up with the theme for, help us exhibit the work, so you can see some examples of that. We have lots of partners. We have an amazing mentorship with Arts Emergency, who partner students with people working in the creative industries. So if you're interested in going to work as a graphic designer, they will pair you up with a graphic designer who will meet with you every couple of weeks and give you advice about that. We work with Liverpool Biennial, and with the Biennial coming up in the next year, there's opportunities to work with them. We do a lot of work with FAC Liverpool, whose most of their exhibitions are all about gamification of art. So art that's interactive, which again is really relevant to young people. We do lots of trips, so we do residential trips every year to London. We do lots of trips within Liverpool and other areas as well, so we can see photography trips there. We don't just go to art galleries, we look at other kinds of trips that you want to do. And also as a school, we have a Gold Award in ArtSmart due to our commitment to the arts and the things that we do, the opportunities we create for students. Okay, so thank you.
Hi, I'm Amanda, just to talk about the tech pathway. So the aim really of the tech pathway is to equip students with knowledge and industry standard skills really, so that they can move into careers such as these. So programmers, web development, mobile development, project managers. In order to achieve that, we've got 3 subjects that we offer on this pathway. So we've got A-level in computer science, Cambridge technical level, which is equivalent to 2 A-levels, and the T-level digital production, which is equivalent to 3, and that's new to the tech pathway this year. In terms of computer science, so the single A-level, that follows nicely on from the GCSE. It adds sort of depth and breadth to the subject at A-level, and importantly we have this programming project. So like the GCSE, there's still an exam component for computer systems and computational thinking and algorithms, but the programming project allows skills to be developed that are suitable for industry. So students studying this will create a piece of software or an app or a game, and they will take that through from analysis, design, implementation, using industry standard languages and technologies, and testing. So they do the whole software development life cycle. And just underneath you can see there's just a list of some of the skills that they might develop whilst doing that project. SQL, which would allow them to use databases and back-end databases, HTML, JavaScript and CSS, some technologies involved in the web, and OOP for object-oriented programming, might do procedural programming as well, which would allow them to be able to obviously write the code. The computer science A-level is commonly taken with subjects such as engineering, physics, maths and further maths. It can be taken with any A-level, but obviously these subjects complement each other, so these are quite popular combinations of people who take computer science. Our other subject, the Cambridge Technical, which is equivalent to 2 A-levels. So the first 3 modules you study in Year 12, they are exam-based modules, but the rest of them are coursework. Now, these optional modules, the coursework modules, these have been specifically chosen by the team really because they allow students to develop lots of different technical skills in lots of different areas that would be required for industry. So you can see there the website technologies module. There's a whole host of technologies that the students will become versatile in. And there's mobile development, because obviously mobile apps, mobile banking, mobile games, very common, so students learn how to develop mobile apps. And then software engineering, so things like C#, object-oriented programming, they might use other languages, they do get a choice. But all of these are industry standard skills which link back to those jobs that I showed on the first slide. It is possible for students to take these together, and that is often quite a common choice. If we get students who've decided, yes, I want to be a software engineer, a programmer, a website developer, then they tend to take these together because they get a mix of theory and industry standard skills that set them to go into university, degree apprenticeship, and obviously on into their chosen career. In terms of destinations, our students are really successful. They usually get their choice of university or a degree apprenticeship. These are all of the companies that, well, actually there's some more, but these are a lot of the companies that we do have links with. Over the last few years, our students have been successful in gaining degree apprenticeships. So we've had people go to ARM, which looks at building processes. Barclays have taken people as junior programmers, cyber security. The Very Group as well took a student recently. So our students are quite successful in getting degree apprenticeships, and they're very competitive. But because of all of the skills that they are able to develop on the course, it sets them aside when they're going for those interviews. Other things that we offer, so we want to make our students really competitive. We want them to be able to get those careers listed at the beginning. So as well as doing their A-levels or the T-level, all of these things are on offer. So this year we've got students entered into the CANSAT, where they're basically linking programming and engineering to build and launch a rocket. And it's a European competition, so we're currently in the UK phase, and if they're successful, they move on. Last year they were building a CPU. One of our former students, Niall, who got a degree apprenticeship at ARM, he came back with colleagues as a guest speaker and was showing students how to sort of build processor, look at logic, told them about obviously all of the skills that he developed on the course that were useful in helping him get his degree apprenticeship. We've also got AWS, so students can complete these and complete badges in different areas. There's the Cyber EPQ, which Ender's going to talk about in a moment. Next year we've got a Python course, because increasingly we've noticed universities quite like students to be able to handle data in Python. So all of these are additional opportunities that students have on the tech pathway when they're taking our courses. We also try to have guest speakers and trips as well. And all of these things obviously enhance the industry standard skills that are needed to get those competitive degree apprenticeships and to get into industry. And then T-level, which started this year, and has been heavily involved in that, so he's going to talk about that and the EPQ.
Thank you. So as my colleague Dan mentioned earlier, we've just started moving into a new course for the country, really, called T-levels. And the idea behind them is to replace a little bit of the old BTEC model. This is a T-level, and we're very driven in this school by the industry. So we talk to industry all the time, and we talk about where the market is going. The biggest gap that we have in the technical world at the moment is production. We've got lots of people who can make things creatively, technically, but we don't have a lot of people who can finish those things. So we have lots of products around the world in production with no kind of end in sight. So we've taken a decision to move into T-levels. Our T-level on the technical side is design, development, and production. There's 3 areas to it. There's a core development area, which our students have been working on, our programming languages, or Python and C#. If you've taken computer science at GCSE, you'll know Python. It's a really easy language to get into. C# is a language that's very cross-platform. It works both in the tech world, but also in video games and so on. We focus a little bit on web and mobile, but not exclusively. Students can take that in any direction they want to. We look at networking, both physical networking, and as Amanda mentioned, we also do virtual networking. We're an AWS and Amazon Web Services Academy. We're the only school in the UK that have that status. It tends to be colleges and universities. And that allows us to give students not just the physical networking, so they can get us together, but also the virtual element of that, and particularly relevant as we are in a hybrid working model and we're in a global kind of working model. So students are able to set up networks for companies around the world, both in office and out at home. And of course, aligned with that, computational thinking. We also look at the business side of things, something that a lot of technical students need to be aware about. So things like risk awareness and assessment, digital transformation, which as we know is a real problem, project management, so that's the production element of it, and the business principles about why we move with different technologies. In terms of standards, we look at things like ethics and morals, tying into what we were talking about earlier, and one of the big drivers in the city and region at the moment is around data. One of our big drivers, we're just about to start a relationship with the Hartree Centre, which is a supercomputer based in Daresbury, and that is the fastest computer in the UK. Just done, and we now have a connection in the city between Southport, the line, the actual internet cable, and Daresbury, which we'll be able to use for big data. Data analysis is a big push for us. We work at cyber and IoT, Internet of Things, so when you go home tonight, think about this. If you have an Alexa in your house and someone walks past your house and shouts at Alexa and asks it to deliver something to your door tomorrow, it will do it. It's one of the most insecure devices that you can have in the home. And so we have to teach our students to understand that, because they're going to be the ones in the future who will protect us from that. And we've had great success with that. So all of our students take a cyber EPQ, a cyber extended project, which is a government-funded project, and all of our students are now understanding about, at the moment, about hacking actually, and about ethical hacking, and about how to protect themselves against that. We have about 5 of our ex-students working in cyber across the Northwest, both for the government and for Barclays. And then we look at network and application design, how we deploy these things across the network. So the T-level is a triple. If the student comes onto our T-level, they study that, and it's the equivalent of 3 A-levels. So there's two elements, two exams in the first year, and there's then a practical in the first year, and then in the second year we have an occupational specialist. They start to think about the area they might want to go into, web, app development, games, etc. And then they go for work experience for roughly about 4 to 5 days. So, and that's in the second year, and the whole idea behind that then is they will go on and hopefully get employed by that company, whether it's an apprenticeship, degree apprenticeship, or straight forward. Again, any questions we're here after. Who's next? That's me. Yeah.
Oh, thank you. Hi, my name's Nick. I work in the Health and Social Care Level 3 course. It's a very popular course. 2-year BTEC, the equivalent to 3 A-levels, and of course equal with the UPass points. Very popular with students going to university to study nursing, midwifery, a whole range of health science, healthcare careers. The assessment on the course is through assignment coursework and exams. It's a very supportive course in that we support learners with different individual needs, but we also challenge them to do their very best to get the highest grades. The course is based around sociology, psychology, biology, all applied to healthcare and health science. And the students also get to do voluntary work at Liverpool hospitals, Aintree, Liverpool Women's Hospital. So really good quality work experience for the students that is vital for their applications to university. In addition to university, of course, our students also apply for apprenticeships, and some go into employment. However, still the vast majority of our students will succeed and gain place at university. We have lots of different elements of the course, and there are lots of practical elements of the course in the college, as well as practical elements where theory is turned into practice during the work experience. So if you have any questions, then please, my name's Nick, please come and find me. And thank you.
Hi, I'm Laura, and I am going to talk about the liberal arts pathway. So we've got on there. So there's 4 different subjects that come under this. So I'm just going to briefly talk about each subject very quickly and then say how we come together to turn it into a little bit more than that. So first of all, we have the geography, we do the AQA syllabus. There is 2 modules, it's human geography and physical geography. Human topics we do is contemporary urban environments, learning about the cities, the global systems in the UN, how the world's governed, and the other one is changing places. So for example, in Liverpool, it's the Albert Dock and how it's changed. And then for the physical geography units, it's ecosystems, learning about tropical rainforests and coral reefs, water and carbon cycles, and the danger of global warming and rising sea levels. And we also look at UK coasts. Well, I'll talk about trips broadly in a minute. Geography do very specific trips. We do ones to Thornby, to the beach, to Liverpool city centre, and to Llandudno. So there's loads of experiences there involved in geography. So for history, we do AQA syllabus with the Tudors and Birth of the USA. For our MEA, which is non-exam assessment, which is the coursework, it's worth 20% of the exam. So it's 80% of exam-based and 20% coursework. And we do 100 years of anti-Semitism in France, Russia and Germany. And we do quite a lot of trips and experiences. We visit Auschwitz. We've got a partnership with Lessons from Auschwitz, which do like the students do an ongoing project with them as well as getting to visit the site. We've run trips to Berlin. We go to the law courts, and I'll speak more about it in a second. And we also have done theatre trips. We've got upcoming theatre trips. Keep going backwards. And then for English, again, it's AQA. The modules are tragedy and social and political protest. For tragedy, we do Othello, Death of a Salesman, and selected Keats poetry. For social and political, it's Handmaid's Tale, The Kite Runner, and selected Blake poetry. There's a paper for each module, and English also do an NEA, which is non-exam assessment, and which is coursework that's included as well. I've put Othello there at the top because in March this year, for the first time, which we're going to go back to, it's brilliant. We went and did an Othello workshop, history and English combined, with the students got to enact scenes from Othello in the Globe Theatre in London, which was really, really good. And then finally, we've got business, and this is the Pearson and Excel. It's level 3, advanced A level in business, and it's structured into 4 themes, which are on the next slide, which is marketing and the people, managing business activities, global business, and business decisions and strategy. Okay? So these are the 4 subjects. Obviously, our subjects are often taken with other things and combined with other pathways. So just for example, last year and this year, we have a student doing architecture at university because their passion for history, as well as the other subjects that they studied with it, developed into a love for architecture. But most of the students that we have either end up doing like history or English or geography or business as a straight degree, or law is the next most popular one. So a lot of our work experience opportunities are sort of tailored around law, around politics. We have students who go and do experience in law firms, students who shadow an MP, including going down to the Houses of Parliament and spending the day with an MP. So if politics and things are also something you're interested in, or in the past students have done things like international relations, criminal justice. When we visit the law courts, we do like a mock trial, and students get the chance to actually be part of a real law experience and what it's like to actually stand in a trial. So there are so many different things that encompass that. Also, students who are doing sometimes other pathways include one of our A-levels as well alongside that if they're particularly passionate about something. So if you've got any more questions, I'm happy to answer them after the talk. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Bob Chandler. I am the pathway lead for BTEC Applied Science. Now, they've left the best to last, obviously. I am the alternative to A-levels, so if you think that A-levels may not be for you, or maybe when it comes to GCSE results day, your GCSEs aren't as great as you want them to be, you can come and do a BTEC Applied Science. We have lower entry criteria. We still require level 4s, but we're a vocational qualification. You will do your study through coursework and you'll do it through just some small exams. We're modular. So the students will study modules. When the modules is over, forget about it, move on to the next one. So our students have constant workload, but they can see themselves achieving all the way through it. So we have got a balance of about 40% exams and 60% coursework. It is physics, chemistry, biology based, but we've got some really good specialist modules as well, like medical science. We do physics units as well, we do circuits, and we do a unit on medical physics, which is all about radiography and stuff. And that inspires a lot of our students to go into healthcare, to be radiographers. Some of our students go into pharmacy. Some of our students will go into the medical industry. We've got one student on a foundation medicine course this year. But we cover, where you've heard everybody talk about all the other different subjects, our students will go them directions as well, because we are a broad kind of area. We have students going to architecture, law, we have students who will go and they will do microbiology, we'll have other students who will then choose to go and do apprenticeships. So we are a viable alternative. We're also the biggest cohort in sixth form, and we're also the most successful cohort in sixth form. If you've got any questions, come and find me. Thank you.